My name is Thomas. Some call me the twin because of my twin brother, James. And for some who think I'm a twin of my Lord, but I'm not. And I appreciate the compliment, but I correct them as soon as I can. Thomas is my name. I don't mind Thomas. But I tell you what I don't like. I don't like being called Doubting Thomas. I don't like that. I never have liked it. And yet people continue to call me that. They refer to me to that over generations. I mean, you have your name. Do you like it when someone calls you a name that isn't you? I think not. I mean, remember, I was one of the original 12 that he called. He called me, and I followed him. I can remember it well. My friend Nathaniel and I have been close for many years. Nathaniel came to me one day. He said, Thomas, you have to come with me. I said, Nathaniel, I'm busy. I'm at work. He said, no, you've got to come. We found the Messiah. I want you to meet him. I trust Nathaniel. I mean, if you have a friend come to you and says, come, you go. And I went with Nathaniel, and he introduced me to Jesus. And he said 2 words to me. 2 words that changed my life. Are there 2 words that would change your life? Jesus looked at me, and he didn't just look at me. He looked through me. There's a difference when someone looks at you and when someone looks through you. I was overwhelmed. And then he said 2 words to me, and his voice, he had the most gentle, compassionate voice. He said to me, follow me. Follow me. And that's what I did, and that changed my life. And my question to you this morning is, has it changed your life? Is it correct for me to assume that most in this room where we gather today are followers of Jesus the Christ? Who believe in his teachings and try to follow him? So my question is, how has it changed your life in the last year? In the last 25 years, or since you were a child? I'm glad you have children here. Jesus loved children. But it's an important question to ask yourself from time to time, how your life has changed because of who you follow. And so I left with the others, and we were really a band of brothers. And we had some sisters too. There were some women with us. They didn't always get the recognition, but it was a group of people that he attracted. We gleaned the fields, generous people who were captivated by his teachings, gave us food. He was teaching us to become disciples. And what a teacher he was. He was a master teacher. When you think back, hey, were you blessed to have a master in your education? Jesus was such a person. And what do we gain from those kind of teachers? We learn to listen, to absorb what they bring us, and to try to use it in our own lives. And that's what the 12 of us did as best we could. And the signs and miracles that he performed were just simply amazing and incredible in their own way. Water to wine, healing people. People brought their sick to him. Those who had no friends came to see Jesus because he became their friend. There's a hymn. You know that hymn? What a friend we have in Jesus. He was all of that and more to so many people. And then there was, not long before he died, there was Lazarus. Jesus and Lazarus were close. You know, there's some people in your life that you're particularly close to. And when they are ill or die, you grieve. Well, we went through a lot of dusty small towns and villages. Sometimes we were welcome. Sometimes the Pharisees and the Sanhedrin were curious about what we were up to and wanted to arrest Jesus and the rest of us. But word got out that Lazarus was ill. And we knew that Jesus and Lazarus were close. And we said, my Lord, we must go see him. The word was he was very ill and he might die. Let's go. And Jesus said, no. But he said, no. So we waited a couple days. He said, it's all for the glory of God. Trust me, he said. Don't worry. And so we did. And then upon Lazarus' death, we traveled to Judea, which was very risky because we thought he might be arrested. And guess who might be arrested with him? Does that sound like a doubter to you? I think no. I think no. And after the wonderful, miraculous mystery that he did with Lazarus, we moved on and he began to talk more with us because he knew, he must have known his time was short. He gathered us together. We spent a lot of time together. There were 13 of us, you know. And he said to us, he said, I'm not going to be with you much longer, but I'm going to go ahead of you and prepare a place for you. And you'll know the way to where I'm going. I said, I don't know where you're going. How are we going to know the way? And you know his response? He said, he looked at me, he said, tell me, he said, I am the way. And I am the truth and the life. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Neither let them be afraid. He said that to us all. Don't be afraid. Don't let your hearts be troubled. And we came to believe that. Those aren't the words and memories of a doubter. That's what happened. And then he was taken from us. Now, you can talk all you want about Judas, but if you get 12 people together with 12 different personalities and different backgrounds in life, you don't always know what's going on inside of them. I'll save Judas for another day. But after his death and crucifixion, we were afraid. We were uncertain what was going to happen. And we gathered in a secret upper room and locked the doors and covered the windows because we thought they were after us. And I have to say and submit that I think you would probably have done the same. So don't be too quick to judge. Crucifixion is a horrible death. It happened with frequency in those times. It was not something that I wanted to think of myself experiencing. Now, you kind of dress it up in your time. You don't crucify people anymore. You have reminders of what it was. But you use gas, electricity, rope, and a needle. So you feel a little more comfortable maybe than crucifixion. But it's still capital punishment, and he was a victim of it. And we thought we would be next. And we were in that upper room. All kinds of different feelings. And Peter, oh my, you have no idea what it was like to be with Peter day in and day out. He was distraught. He was in despair. One moment he was up. I think he was a little manic, depressed. I can say that. I walked with him. I lived with him for a while. I know what he's like. I mean, he loved Jesus, but then he had this time of denial. Said, who is it? I don't know who he is. I mean, once maybe, twice, 3 times. He had his own issues. That's another story there too. And so they were in this room. And I finally had to find a way to get out for a time. The first day of the week, Mary Magdalene had brought the news to the group. She said, the Lord is risen. I've seen the Lord. Well, we didn't know what to think of that. And if you think I'm to be cursed forever because of doubting her, what would you think? Well, a couple in the group, Peter and James, Peter and John ran to the tomb. It was empty. And we made the assumption that someone had stolen his body. All they saw were burial cloths. I think it was John was the only one who really believed her. I didn't. I needed some time away. So I left that despairing room and took a walk. Sometimes you got to get away from people and just have some time. I was at that point. And as evening wore on, I came back. I came back to our room. And I gave our secret knock on the door. And when that door opened, it was like a whole different group of people were in that room. I'm telling you, they were energetic, they were joyful, they were confident, they were self-assured. They said, Thomas, we've seen the Lord. I said, what? We've seen the Lord. What do you think of that? And I said, unless I see the nail marks in his hands and the wound in his side, I'm not going to believe. I mean, what would you have thought? I was honest with him. And it got to the point finally when I said, I need to leave. I'm going to go back to my parents for a few days and try to absorb all of this that's happening the last week. And that's what I did. And after a few days, I got restless. I missed my brothers. These were my friends. And so I came back to that upper room. And I knocked on that door one more time. And just as I was about to reach and open that door, I felt a presence. Do you ever feel a presence when you can't explain it or see it, but you feel it? And I turned and I saw this image of Jesus. I was overwhelmed. And I heard this voice say, "Peace be unto you." Peace be with you, Thomas. I said, "My Lord, my God, you're here." And I reached out and was going to ask more. And when I turned around, the image was gone. I can't explain that to you. I have no rational explanation. But can you rationally explain to somebody what your faith is about? Can you define for someone what love is about? Those are intangibles. But if you feel faith and love, you know what it is. And that's what I felt. I'll never forget that. Turned my life around. And I stepped in with the others. And we had much work ahead of us in the days and weeks and months ahead. And some of us did not have much time because the authorities were after us. And when you speak truth to power, there is a risk involved. And Jesus and the prophets called us to do just that. To me, those experiences do not sound like someone who is a doubter. It sounds to me like someone who is committed. But that's the way I saw myself. And that's the way I hope you can see yourself in your commitment to Jesus Christ and to the church and to those in need. And I remember one of the last things that I heard that he said, it was personalized in a way. He said, "Thomas, you've seen me and you believe. How blessed are those people who've never seen me and yet believe." May God help you to find that commitment and that belief.
Amen.